What's up? So we burned through our battery, and I had to come inside to recharge it. And so we're just getting restarted here on the live stream to complete the repair of a habitat fence line here. So I did finish busting the concrete footer out while the battery was paused, since I didn't want y'all to feel bad for me digging a giant hole in frozen earth. But now, oh, here's Icknick. Hi, Icknick. Hi, Icknick. So now we're going to haul a hose up the hill. Hopefully it's long enough without having to extend it. And then we're going to pour some concrete and set the post. I thought I was done with the hose for the year, but no, it's never done. Nothing's ever done. So welcome back. If you are tuned into the first part, then you know what I've been up to. And if you're just tuning in, boop, hi Noonie, then this is Oliver the Wolf Guy from the Tahoe Wolf Center, and the work is never done. So I was out and I noticed that we had a fence post that was looking sketchy, and we don't do sketchy. So I am in the process of finishing repairing the post. I have a bunch of other assorted chores I'm doing out here today because we're coming in breeding season and have to be ready to keep animals separate. But fence post is number one most important. So what I got to do next here is make sure this thing ain't in a tangled mess, so I can drag it up the hill. And hopefully, I don't know if it's going to reach. I may have to extend it, but we'll figure that out here as we go. I do have extra hose, thankfully. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. So, for those just tuning in, this is Oliver the Wolf Guy from the Tahoe Wolf Center. And for those of you that are been watching, I'm midpoint, more than midpoint, in doing a fence repair here. I noticed a rotted post was looking sketchy. And so we got to bust it out of the footer in the frozen ground. It was not too bad, but a little frozen. And during the process, I was sort of narrating, and people were watching my animals watch me, etc. And now we're at that point where I'm ready to reset a post. So we've got the other post busted out. We've got the concrete and everything up the hill. And now, I don't know if this is going to reach all the way up there without an extension, but we're going to try. I haven't ever had to run the hose up there, so we'll find out in a second here. A little water. All right. And just so you know, I got this on a little chest mount right now. So, hey, John Ben, hey. We are kind of off grid, not really, but I actually lived off grid for quite a long time. We do have power here. Actually, we're not super remote, actually, which is a lot easier, and also has helped me stay married, because I've been married twice before where my partners thought, oh, it'll be really fun to live with a mountain man off grid in a remote location, and then they discovered that mostly it's back-breaking work, and it wasn't nearly as romantic as they had imagined it might be. And as a result, those women are no longer married to me. Plus, I'm a difficult and curmudgeonly old dude, which doesn't lend itself to long partners unless you're super patient person and not needy, because that doesn't work with me. All right, so rather than tangle with another 50 feet of hose. I'm just going to fill a bucket where it's close enough and haul the bucket. Because that's what I'm going to do. Because otherwise I got to go get another hose, attach it, etc. And there's a bucket sitting right here. So that's easy enough. As long as you're not all frozen together. All right. Well, I guess I'm just carrying 2 buckets. Okay. So I got everything lined up. What we got to finish up here, I'm going to turn on my little headlamp so we can all see. If you post comments in the chat, I'll try to periodically have a little look and you can ask questions or whatever. And I'm not zooming this, but actually we've got Sunny on the other side of the habitat fence here and Icknick over there. If you look at the little Christmas lights on the fence line. And for those of you that haven't tuned in here before, the lay of my situation here is we've been doing a many-decade experiment of actually living within our family group of animals. So our home is fully inside our habitat, and there's a cross fence at the house that segregates the habitat. You can see there's a pond there into a much larger back area and a somewhat smaller front area. The front area is about 20% of the total habitat, and the rest is all back here. And then we abut some national forest land right here. There are some houses past us. But we've been here so long, nobody remembers when there wasn't a crazy guy with wolves living here. And we're a well-liked member of our community. Why did I carry that all the way? All right, so we're going to fill the bucket. Fill the bucket, haul the bucket. It's always the work, right? So while I'm waiting for this bucket to fill, and I'll just do a couple of trips so I don't have to kill myself carrying it. Hopefully I threw my gloves in my bag. Of course I did not. All right, well, while I'm waiting for the bucket to fill, I'm going to go grab my work gloves. You guys get to come along for the ride. And here, let me see. There. What is it you need to learn? How to do a fence post? I'm talking you through it, so I'm happy to do that. Hopefully people will catch on. The way we do it here is, so we use ornamental iron fencing. And ornamental iron fencing, the kind we use, makes it pretty easy to pull a post out of the fence without having to tear down the fence. And the biggest hassle for us is, number one, just moving stuff around since you can't like drive it over there. So I've already moved a couple 100 pounds of concrete and the post and the supplies up the hill, and then busting the footer out. So we use two 50-pound bags of concrete per post when it's a fresh set fence. I use more than that if I'm resetting a post, just because I might as well. So then we reset the post, we secure it into the fence, we use Quickcrete, so all I gotta do is pour water. And I forgot my gloves. They're somewhere over here. And hi, Nepente. This is Nepente. This is the world's cutest Malamute. Nepente. Oh my gosh. My little girl Nepente. We call her the R maker. And the fire starter, because she'll shred up everything for fire. Nope. Where are you going?
We have more than one.
Yeah, we have a lot of R makers. All right. I'm not letting you out because there's a hole in the fence, cutie. Yes, she is a really special animal. She's just about 11 months old, a few days shy of 11 months. My little troublemaker. But right now she's picking fights with her big sister Mooney. And Mooney, she's writing check. Her bark is writing checks. Her bite can't cash. And so we're keeping her and Mooney separate. Maybe you go back in with Mama because you're not going to be happy if I don't let you out. Can you call her?
Nepente, come on.
Go see Mama.
Nepente, come.
Good girl. She's the best. All right. Okay, so now I'm here. I'm in, we have a little kennel here that we affixed to the house where we can keep puppies, or if we have an emergency, we can lock everybody down. And now I'm in the big habitat. We've already filled the bucket and dug out the hole. You guys will see here. I'm going to pop on my headlamp. And you'll see where things stand. And for people that are curious about the materials, these are 10-foot pressure-treated 4x posts and ornamental iron panels. And then we use wood screws, big heavy-duty half-inch screws, half-inch heads on a 2-inch screw. They go right into a fresh post. And so I've already, as I mentioned, hauled all the materials up the hill and busted the old post out. We have to disconnect some of the electrical stuff. So here's the post, the old post on the ground. Here's the hole to get the footer out. All right. So everything has a process. And the process right now is get this. So the first of the buckets, obviously once I affix it, I'm not walking through the fence anymore. So I don't know if that'll even fit. I'll probably just, okay. So what I'm gonna do, if you hear me moaning and groaning, it's because I got a cracked rib. Icknick took me out the other day on a patrol and I heard something go crack. And since then I've been feeling the effects of it. Okay. All right, so hole, equipment. Here's the space in the fence, which will reset. I thought I might need the post hole digger, but maybe I don't. All right, so, okay, just thinking through my steps here since I got interrupted. And once I put the post in, obviously, I'm not going back and forth through the gap like I am right now. All right, so now you can see the depth we dig, right? Just pull a little bit more of the soil out. Just to get us where we want to be. Okay, so next, that will not fit through the fence, so that goes there. This is the old footer we just busted out. Here's the new fence and the Quikrete. And, all right, a couple little things. Just thinking through. All right, so this here is the stanchion that allows me to extend the electrical. That gets screwed into the side of the new post. And then on the old post, my bag is over there. Oh, all the animals are howling at a siren. I don't know if the mic picks it up. Hold on. Let me give a howl and see if they sing with me. So I don't know if the mic is good enough, but they're singing to the siren. Something big must be going down. We get the horns going. Not the prettiest howl because the puppies are going to lose their minds. A lot of howling. It's singing the song of their people. So when they hear a siren, this is what's called a territorial howl, and they're basically saying, "Hey, hey, hey, I'm here. This is my territory. This is where my family is. Don't be messing with us." Now that prettier howl is him talking to me. That's a Kutak, the matriarch. See the difference? Now it's prettier. That's us singing our song. So I'll give them a pause and I'm going to respond. Oh, now we got neighbors. We have neighbors that like our music. Now they're like, what's going on? Oh, and then the Malamutes barking in the house. All right, so let me squeeze my little self through. Okay, so here was where we're at. For those of you that are still with me here. So again, for those that are new to the channel, I'm Oliver the Wolf Guy, and I'm the founder, executive director, and chief pooper scooper of the Tahoe Wolf Center. We're a 501c3 that advocates for wolf conservation. And we have ambassador animals that aid us in our mission to educate the public. And so we do talks in person over Zoom. We produce educational materials, including my latest book, The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs, which is available on Amazon now. It's a top-rated book at the moment, if you're into that kind of thing. I guess it was that book. All right. And then we also work with like artists and documentarians who are making pro-wolf conservation type content, including most recently we're currently working with. All right, so this is just the little hot wire lead that goes on the fence itself. We use multiple layers of electrified, so that has to be on the inside of the fence. Okay, this got to be inside the fence, so I don't have to do laps. This has to be inside the fence. All this stuff gets to be inside the fence. All right. The minute I put up the post, I'm done with being outside the fence without walking around it. So I'm still going to have to walk around it. There's no easy way to do it otherwise. All right, so next, we're going to put a little bit, and this mostly is for those of you that want to learn about building fence. So John, here's where we're at, so you understand about replacing the post, right? So these are this is a panel. This is a 1/2 inch right here head on a big wood screw. I'll show you what the screws look like in a second. So to replace a post, when the post is looking shifty here, we take those out. I'm going to disconnect my electrified from the fence without taking the system apart, and just pull the post out of there. So there's 4 big screws that come in. Then this is free. If it's rotted, like this one was, it's not moisture getting into the bottom of the post and rotting it from below. And so just gonna gently move a tiny bit more soil out of here, like so. All right, we just scrape this. And ideally, you're going to want that so it sets up pretty level. If it looks like this is not my first rodeo, it's because it's not my first rodeo. My family was in the cattle business, and so you build a lot of fence in your life when you're dealing with that. Plus 40 years of wolves, I've built a lot of habitat fencing. And one of the things I will do kind of periodically for other people, whether they're private owners or facilities, is I'll provide consultation on how to do a better job of this, because having a good habitat that's both secure and interesting is really, really important for the well-being of your animals. And not having them get loose is really important as well. We only want to be in the newspaper because we're doing good stuff, not because there's wolves loose in the Tahoe Basin. All right, so now we're at that place where I'm just going to pour a little bit of the fence post mix. This is quickcrete, just so you know. So this is fast set, high temp, high pressure concrete, right? And so what's good about this stuff is I don't need to pre-mix it. I'm going to pour it right in the hole, a little bit on the bottom, like I said, right, like so. That's all, just a little bit on the bottom. I'm going to stick my head in the hole here and just get that nice and level. Eyeball it. Now for us, we're lucky because now if we were setting a new fence and we didn't have the panels, then we would have to level everything, make sure it was straight, parallel, directionally. We'd run a string line across everything and set it up so that they're all perfect, which is how you do to begin with. But once you're here, right, the fence itself does all that for you because it's square. And so, all right. Yeah, I'm going to have to walk around. There's no other way about it, but let me at least move all the stuff that I'm going to have to carry through. Okay, I'm at that place. All right, so here's what happens next is pop on some gloves, protect what's left of my hands. And I have really, really tough leathery hands from a lifetime of labor. I also used to work on fishing boats, so my hands are, and I also used to cut big timber. So I'm kind of used to manual labor, but still better to protect what's left of your hands. The older you get, the more you realize that you miss what's gone. For those that are curious, I'm 57. So, all right. And then here comes the fun part, is getting this right where I want it in the context of the fence. Because, of course, these guys aren't going to want to cooperate exactly. They never do. So you pull it like this. All right, I get that in there. And then, so this guy here, the way these work is, see the part that secures the fence slides in to the fence itself here. And so see how that allows it to move, right? The fence post isn't moving in the ground, it's sliding, right? And so what I do now is I just position myself where I can leverage off it, and I just go up, and then I pop it in. Okay, and then those two will pull out, right? I'll be able to adjust exactly where those things sit. And then that's the bulk of it. All right, so now what I'm going to do is we set the screws, right? So let me show you the screws here. People that are washing. All right, so we're at the point where we're going to re-secure the panels, and then I get to pour the rest of the concrete and the water so that it starts to set up, and then I'll be doing a couple laps back and forth here to finish the job. Okay, so these are the screws, right? A 1/2-inch head. They're about 1.5 inches to 1.75 inches long. They're self-tapping. I don't have to pilot them. I just have to get them started. Okay. That may reach through the fence here. Pull my tool bag closer. And all right. So, really liking this new camera mount, little chesty I got here. I try live streaming off my GoPro, but because it doesn't live stream directly, it actually doesn't stay connected really well, and people were getting frustrated with it like I was. All right, so what I'm gonna do next here, I'm gonna avoid dropping my parts, is we're gonna grab a little extension here. Did I not? Oh, no, I grabbed it. Okay. So, pop a little extension in my drill. Pop the head my 1/2 inch, right? That's what we're doing here. This is pretty heavy, so this little guy is not crazy powerful, so I still have to finish it by hand, but it definitely saves a bunch of cranking if I get it started like this. All right. And we're gonna decide where I want it exactly. All right, line it up. And that looks good. I try to center it as much as I can, and then okay. And that's how we start it. And now do the same on the other side here. And it all pulls together pretty nice. This one here I would like to be a tiny bit higher. So let me, yeah. All right, and so now those are set. We do the same thing on the bottom here to pull it all tight. Everything's where I want it. Final screw, and then we ratchet them down till those little ears that connect to the fence are flush with the fence. All right, for those of you tuning in, I'm Oliver the Wolf Guy. I'm the executive director of the Tahoe Wolf Center. We're a 501c3 organization that teaches people about the value of wolves and other predators. And the reason I'm fixing the fence here is because we have a family group here on the property that are ambassadors to educate the public. We work with documentarians. We generate a lot of educational content. And so I'm just fixing fence because I noticed a defective post, and we don't mess around. I've had 40 years of not having animals get loose. And the reason I have 40 years of not having animals get loose is because literally the instant that I see anything questionable, I just fix it. I don't care if it's a blizzard in the dark, I just fix it. I patrol this fence line personally twice a day. Once when I get up and the animals are first in the big habitat, and the last thing I do before I go to bed at night is walk the fence line just to make sure. We also, because we're in the woods here, right, we're in a biologically appropriate habitat, right? We are where wolves would be if they lived in this area. They don't, because there's not enough big game here. But were they to live here, this is what they'd be living in. And because of that, we have, you could see, big timber, right? And so we actually spend a lot of money. We have an arborist every year look for any hazard tree on either side of this fence line. And if there's a tree that looks even a little questionable that could damage the fence, we just take that sucker out. We do not mess around. My goal is to be the best neighbor anybody's ever had. My neighbors would tell you I'm the best neighbor. I'm the guy that'll pull you out the ditch. I'm the guy that'll cut your wood up for you because it's easy for me to do. I got all the equipment. And I've been here a long time. And so my wife and I also are, because we own a restaurant, like we feed all our local first responders at pretty much our cost. We take care of people. We feed people. We take really good care of our employees that work for us at the restaurant. Actually, our most senior employees make more money than we do, which we think is great because our business runs because of them. I just put up a sign today, right? We're in a tourist area, and when tourists are mean to our people, they get shown the door. So my wife was like, can you make a new sign? So I made a sign today that said, please be kind to our people. Rude guests will be shown the door, with a line of door emojis, because, yeah, it's no reason. We're busy enough that if you can't be nice, then you can stand in line somewhere else. We don't put up with it. My wife kicked a 12. I'll tell you a funny story while I'm doing the work here. So, was it last night? Yeah, I think it was either the last night or the night before. I don't remember. So we had a group of 12 come in, which we're one of the few restaurants in our area that on the last minute like that in the holiday high season will try to accommodate a big party. Most of the time you have to make a reservation in a restaurant in a resort area. But anyway, so I had like 12 people come in to sit down. And then a few minutes later, a two-top came and sat down next to him. And I mean, what are the odds of this? So the two-top, apparently there had been some altercation on the ski hill between the woman, one of the women on the 12-top and the party of the two-top. And so they started in again. I guess they ran into each other on the ski hill and they were mad. So they started giving each other a hard time and bickering and bickering and bickering, and it was unpleasant. And finally, the husband of the woman at the big table said to his wife, hey, cut it out. I'm trying to have a nice dinner with my family. Let it go. And the other people were somewhat relieved, I guess, to let it go. But then the wife wasn't letting it go. She just continued to harass these other people, even though they were no longer responding. And finally, another table that's a group of people that have been at our restaurant a few times, kind of know us. And apparently they'd all been drinking, right? Of course, right? Everybody's been drinking. And so what happens, let me pause my story just to show you next step here. So next step here is I'm pouring the Quikrete around the post. So the idea is to get it nicely seated all the way around. So I'll stick my hands in here in a second and make sure it's all the way around. All right, so we're gonna use 2 bags. So it's 100 pounds that we're pouring in the hole. All right, so there's that. Next bag comes. All right, next bag. Okay, so I'm gonna pour another bag. I'm lifting another bag. Cut another bag. Here we go. So, the wife at the big table just keeps on keeping on. Won't stop. And the people at the other table, who, as I mentioned, had also been drinking, it was another party of 12, tells the wife of this table, hey, we're trying to have a nice dinner here. Come on, let it go. And then the husband, who had already told the wife to be quiet, gets offended, and we nearly had a full-blown brawl. And it would have gone badly, I think, for the original 12-top with the aggravated wife, because apparently I wasn't privy to this. My team was telling me about it, is that the guys that asked them to stop, a couple of them were like pro football player size individuals, and they were huge. Like my employee was like, he stood up and he was like 7 feet tall. And I'm like, okay, well, thankfully nothing bad happened. But yeah, that was kind of interesting. But anyway, the point is that they were the couple that was causing all the trouble, I guess, was so difficult that finally my wife came and asked them to leave. So yeah, be nice to my people. That's what I care about. All right, so now we're here. Level this here. We got a nice solid footer, okay? So that is going to sit really well in the ground. Because of the way this is a porous material, what's going to happen is that's going to actually really glue itself. You can sort of see now the original footer was smaller. You can see the size of the original footer here. So the one I just poured is twice as big. And that'll really shore up any weakness that having that weak post earlier did in the fence line here. Really make it robust. But you could see how the earth just forms around it. And so now I'm going to roll around the fence line to the other side here. And we're going to pour the water. Maybe let's do an experiment. All right. My philosophy is lazy once means working twice, typically, which is if you don't do something the right way, you get to do it over. But let's just, for shits and grins here, let's just see if I can get creative and just tilt this into the hole. First, let me move my tools so I don't pour my water in my tools. I still have to go around to finish everything up, but it'd be great if I don't have to. Because what I need to do after this will be to push the earth back and just make this look natural again. So let me see if I can't just creatively move my bucket where I need it. All right, let's just say here, can I? This may just be one of those shortcuts that works. And if not, all I did was spill some water. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. All right, so basically what I want to do is saturate the Quikrete. It isn't ideal to be pouring when it's this cold, but it's Quikrete and the ground is not fully frozen down a little bit. Okay, so now, right, we're gonna, before I pour the rest of the water, for those of you that are still learning, I see a comment here. Was it Real Housewives of California? Yeah, it's so funny you mentioned that, Callie. Lisa Vanderpump was at the property yesterday, actually. She has a restaurant in Tahoe called Wolf, and she is a huge animal advocate. And she's friends with a friend of mine and asked if she could come over. And so I got to entertain her and her husband, Ken. And they are some of the nicest, coolest people. It was such a pleasure to meet them. The animals were crazy about them. Like, I had to defend them from getting their beautiful clothes covered in paw prints because Noonie and Sonny in particular were super curious about them. All right, so all I'm doing now is just making sure that we've got the Quikrete saturated so it firms up more quickly. All right. And that happens fast. You'd be surprised how quickly this fast-setting concrete goes. All right, so that's that. I don't even have to add more water. It's just absorbing in. And so now the next step here going to be to just shovel a little bit of dirt on top, and that'll soak up the rest of that little bit of water. Yes, Cass, got to keep the Sasquatch out. Of course, I don't think Sasquatch want to tangle with my critters. I don't know what they would do if we actually had something like that. They're not afraid of bears. They really don't care much about coyotes. It's really human. So they might be scared if there really is such a thing. I'm a skeptic. And if we want to do a talk about Sasquatch, I'll tell you why I'm a skeptic. I'm a skeptic because I'm a biologist. And in order for you to have, I mean, unless they're like really cryptic in some super bizarre way, like they're trans-dimensional and they're blinking in and out, or they have, I mean, something that we don't understand, which I'm not so skeptical to believe that there's stuff we don't know. We don't know a lot. But if they are a biologically based terrestrial mammal that's been here for thousands of years, then that means that they have to have a breeding population. Otherwise, they would die of inbreeding depression. And a breeding population isn't 50. It's hundreds or thousands, right? Really thousands for it to persist over many, many years without having serious genetic issues, which would cause them to become infertile. So these are ostensibly, they're large animals. right? I mean, if they're 9 feet tall and they have size 20 feet, then they're going to poop. And unless they got magical disappearing poop, we're going to find the poop, right? I mean, I am something of an expert on finding poop. I pick up poop every day. I track wildlife all the time. And there's no Sasquatch poop up here that I've ever seen. So for what it's worth, I think we'd be seeing evidence of Sasquatch if there was. So, all right. I'm also going to just leverage the little bit of material that I broke out, the small pieces, just because it's sturdy and resilient. And so we're going to drop some of that in just to shore up even further the finished product here. I'm not sure if this one will fit, but we're going to give it a shot. I'm all about recycling. I hate seeing wasted concrete. So I'm going to set that. Yep. You're going to set right like that. After I shovel a little more soil in, I'll be able to put that exactly where I want it. All right, so I'm shoveling some of my soil I dug out of the hole before. Right back into the hole. And we're going to put my foot here so it stays where I want it. I'm going to short that up. Pull the rest of the soil in here on various sides. And that's going to compact around there nicely when I put the rest of the soil in. The big piece I'll haul down the hill and dispose of. All the small stuff goes back in the hole. And you can see here, just to give you guys an idea what I was dealing with, this is frozen ground. See the frost? So I had to bust through the frozen ground to get this thing out of here. No fun. No fun at all. But now we're in the tail end of this process here. All right. Push soil, push soil. Stand. Come around here. Just seat that old material. And all I got left is a little bit of refuse here. One of the biggest challenges that I have is I do my work well enough that if I have to undo my work, it's a freaking nightmare, right? Like getting this post out now after, if it's set, when it sets, will be an absolute, like almost want to have a backhoe because of the way I've set this post, right? This is what frozen ground looks like, by the way. That's just frozen soil, right? So now, just nicely refill the hole, politely treat our earth. I'm just going to gently tamp that down. All right. A little bit more on this side. We'll shuffle this little bit of spilled Quikrete. Just so it looks nice. And that thing is already rock solid, like it isn't going anywhere anymore. All right, that part's done, done. Okay, final next round of steps here for those that are still paying attention. So, hey, Callie, I didn't ask him to make a donation because I kind of have a bigger plan. So for those of you that are just watching and curious, this is a private facility. We're not open to the public. So if you want to come and talk to me and learn about the animals, and actually interact with them, then you need to contact us and make a reservation, and we do that on a case-by-case basis. But what I'm interested in doing is opening a museum caliber facility that's fully open to the public, that could handle 100,000 or more visitors a year and really scale our message to the world. And so we have a parcel here. It's actually a golf course that needs to be, not a golf course anymore. But the first challenge is the zoning on it is super restrictive. But I do have the support of our board of supervisors and the land management agency. And so I'm just waiting for a complete response from them, a written response that says, yes, your intended use would be an approved use. And once I get that answer, then I can start really soliciting some big bucks, because I'm going to need to raise about $10 million for that. And I'm hoping that what she'll do is a fundraiser at her restaurant that would attract the kind of people that have those sort of resources, and would be interested in having a really beautiful ecotourism destination here, that could really scale my message to, 1 million or more people over 10 years in person. And where the money that it generates, so we'll leave this other pressure treated here for the time being. Just what I'll do is I'll come back tomorrow and I'll trench that in. Okay, so now all we got left is, see, that's a rotted post. That's what happens if so that's tomorrow's job, is just to remove the remaining. But for now, I want to finish the fence first. All right, so here's where we're at. Post has been reset, done on this side. The last steps are to resecure the electrified system, and then we'll call it good. We can let the animals back in the big part of the habitat. Okay, so back to Vanderpump. So anyway, yeah, I'm hoping she would do a fundraiser. And listen, if you're one of those people that's been fortunate enough to have great resources, we would be really interested to talk to you. We have a business plan that is very different from most nonprofits, because our gate, a mission to the facility, in our opinion, has the potential. I'm seeing if I can. You're not going to want to do it, are you? One more try here. I've got a lock on a gate over here, but it needs a little WD-40. One more try. No. All right, we'll walk the long way. So if you're that person, most nonprofits are unfortunately a perennial sucking sound, right? Like you need to put money into it every year. Ours, because of where we're located, we believe that not only will it generate millions of dollars a year in revenue, but that the revenue will vastly exceed the operating expense of the facility. And that will allow us to take the excess capital and buy land in strategic locations throughout the United States and globally, where it's most important for the recovery of imperiled species. And we'll hold that land in trust in perpetuity, so it can never be developed. It can never be hunted. Like, we want to create reserves everywhere as part of our commitment to wildlife recovery globally and the preservation of our wild spaces. So I'm back on this side now. Right, and we use a double gate system with multiple locks, and they're weird locks. It's like I can do them in the dark, backwards, whatever, so can my wife. Other people would have to cut it. And let me show you guys something funny. As long as you're all watching, I'll see something funny. We have a very funny sign on the property here. You'll see that. Obviously, it's a joke, but it's a funny joke. The police are like, who would break into your property? Between it being a pain in the ass to get in and back out and the possibility that you might be a Scooby snack. Now, the reality is that these guys are unfamiliar people. The only person that's likely to get bit is me because they're not afraid of me because I'm dad and they bite each other sometimes. Hi, people. Everybody's here. Let me give you guys a little treat. I'm going to go say hi to my people. They're all such good kids. They're waiting. It's about the time of evening where I ordinarily take some of them out for a patrol out of the habitat, and they're all chilling out. We may pause on that tonight because it's New Year's Eve and maybe people are being crazy. I almost never miss a day. This is Icknick. This is my mature male. Icknick means fireball or meteor in Inuktitut. This guy is a proper gentleman. He has the best personality. His disposition is remarkable. 40 years, never met a nicer animal. He really is a sweetheart. Like, he's so good with puppies. He's the best babysitter. He'll take his treats really, really nicely. He'll sit down, and his sit command is proper gentleman. It's really cute. He actually did one on the last round here because I had to run him through the house. So if you want to see that, scroll through the prior live stream. A couple quick things. So he's not super crazy about me messing with his collar, but you'll see that I got one of those Phi trackers. Every one of our guys wears one. We love those things. I am not paid to endorse them, although they do support our efforts with equipment. And they are remarkable, not just because it lets me sleep at night knowing everybody's inside a geofence, but also it has activity data and sleep data, and so I can see if things change. It lets me see if my animals have something going on. All right, and he's a big boy. Are you gonna put your paw on my head? When you see the size, so I have a really big hand. My hands are a double XL glove, like they're big. And his feet, he has big feet, don't you? You got big feet, big feet. He's got the biggest feet. He says, Dad, I want you to scratch me over here by my peeper. He's just super nice. All right, yeah, he's my nicest for sure. Very, very lucky to have somebody so nice because he's huge. He's 150 pounds. If he wanted to do something naughty, it'd be tough to stop him. We'll go over here and say hi to the ladies and my little new Naryak. So Noonie here, the one that's approaching me right now, is 8 months old. He's going to even be bigger than Nick. We rescued him this year. Oh my goodness. Hi, Noonie. Noonie is my naughty boy. He can't help it. He's a puppy. He's got puppy brain. But he's the furriest, biggest pup I've ever had. And here we've got all the girls being nice. They're pretending to be nice, right? So we call this a wolf ball. So that's Mooney. Agnic's going to disturb them, or Noonie's going to disturb them. His name is really Nunaryak, which means of the land or earth. This is Mooney. That's her American version. It's really Takik, which means moon in Inuktitut. Okay. So now that we've greeted everybody, I've got the final phase in the project here. All right, we'll put this back on my little chest mount. Icknick. Okay. All right, sorry, you guys. I had a little weird connectivity. I call that an aberbalation, where our limited internet systems up here take a dump on us. All right, I'll turn off the hose. Refresh that bucket in a minute. But for this moment, that's off. All right, so now the last steps in this project here, for those of you that have been tuned in for so long to see how we do it. You want to come visit? Hey, hon, will you let Nepente out? I'm going to let Nepente out so she can inspect my work. This is my Malamute puppy. Oh, I love Malamutes. To me, you know, everybody who's a real dog person has like their heart. Yeah, she can come out. She can inspect the work. Come on, inspect the work. All right, so everybody's got their heart dog. Malamutes are my heart dog. In particular, the long-haired version, like this one, that are called Woolies. So she's 8 months old. Oh no, she's 11 months old. She's funny. She's a fierce little thing. Total predator. Like, she's way more oriented towards getting small game than any of the wolves. All right, so we're back up here on the back side of the habitat. She's immediately going to go check out whatever work I was doing. Yeah, the hose is in a weird spot, huh? Okay. If it weren't for the battery dying and it taken me 40 minutes to bust the old footer out of here, this would have gone fast. But we are where we are. Okay, so now we're on the inside of the fence. This is the new post, reset. Righty, and so these are the last steps here. I got to keep my gloves on so I don't get myself zapped. Right. So, we're reaffixing the electrified now, and then it's just moving tools back. So, oop. All right. And I was saying earlier, if you're walking around with parts and tools in your pockets, close your pockets. Like, there's nothing worse than like bending over, having your stuff get dumped, not realizing your stuff got dumped, and now you're missing something important. All right, so I'll put that back in the pocket for convenience. So here's where we're at. I need my little Torx. I try hard to standardize. For example, if I'm using a screw, I try to use the same screw head for everything, so it just saves on having to switch out bits all the time or find other bits, which is really annoying. All right, so for those of you that don't know, this is all electric up here. Won't kill me, but it does suck to get zinged by it. And one of the reasons we use this kind of fence material up here is we get some winters. This is a very pitiful winter so far. But we sometimes get 700 inches of snow, and a regular, like a chain link or a game fence, will just get pulled down as the snow packs and moves. This stuff does not. And then the electrified will allow me to extend the height of the fence. So you can see like there's a black stanchion over there, and I can just continue to raise up the electrified. And to ground animals out correctly, if it gets like that, I unroll welded wire fence on top of the snow to make a contact. So still get zinged. I don't love it when we're in that situation, but it's our solution if we get a situation where the snow will overtop. And then I trench also, which means a few winters ago I moved. I calculated at one point it was like 1 million pounds of snow by hand. Oh, wow, this is zapping me right through my glove. These are not my electrician's gloves. All right, so then this sits here, right there, right? That's just the first of the stanchions. It's going that way. And I lined this one up right with the top rail. Oop, hang on, co-pup rate. There you go. Bing. I like my wire to sing when I tap it. By the way, if you want to read an amazing short fun book, which has, I love guys that build good fence. Building good fence is close to my heart because it's so important to what we do. It's called Fup Duck, F-U-P-D-U-C-K. It's just a very short, very cute book. about a little wayward duck and a guy that builds good fence who becomes his rescuer. All right, so just set this. Here's what we do next is I get a hold of that, and that goes here for right now. And then you guys, this one, that's where they go. And you see how beautiful that is, how lined up? Boing! That's the work. And then this sits right against, the top rail there. And these are designed to go in the ground like for goat fencing, but I just drill holes in them. And they work great. They're great lightweight insulators. And the last step is this. Of course, you gotta be drilling the correct direction. Last chance for the fence to get me. Last chance for the fence to get me on this round. Bing! Bing! Stay there. Oh, you're not in there. There we go. And it's singing. All right. Done. Now all I got to do is carry some tools back, and we've wrapped up the task. All right. So, let's see. I think we're into it for 3 trips. We'll see. That goes with the bucket. This goes in the back. This pry bar weighs a freaking ton. Got to get it right in the middle for easy carrying. All right. Well, those of you that stayed with me all this time, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you want to love the Tahoe Wolf Center, you can give us a super special thanks, whatever they call those guys. Or you can subscribe at a premium level on the channel. I hate shilling for this shit, but it really does help. It adds up. Every little bit helps. Our cost just on food is $15 an animal a day times 6 times 365. Every animal has insurance. We've got hundreds of thousands of dollars in fencing. I do not pay myself for this work. My compensation is spending my life with these animals. So every penny that comes in here benefits the animals and our education efforts. And if you want a benefit while supporting us, besides feeling good about it and getting some of the cool perks that I offer in my memberships, is I've got a book that's out. It's starting to be a best-selling book. It's called The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs. It's on Amazon. If you like physical books, the hard copy version, paperback, hardcover, will be available like in a week. It's in the review queue there. But if you like ebooks, it's available now on a super deal. And if you're a Kindle Premium subscriber, it's free right now. So if you like it, give me a 5-star rating on the book, The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs. And there's even a chapter in there about how we design habitats with the animal in mind, that providing the animal with a proper enrichment through a proper habitat like ours. And even there's strategies for, if you live in a more urban place, so you can still provide a really great experience for your dog in a typical backyard with just a few minor modifications about how you do it. So here's the finished work. Habitat repair completely complete. Secured. That fence is not going anywhere for a decade right there. More than a decade. Because every time I do my work, I get better at it. And that was 10 years ago. All right, so now, if I can pull the hose with this, it'd be 2 trips. I've done it one better. All right, and we are off the hill, out of the dark. I can let my animals come and inspect the work after Nepente goes inside. Where is Nepente? Nepente! Oh, you're right behind me. She's my shadow. You're the best. She's the best dog. I often say, up with Malamutes, down with wolves. Jokingly, of course. But Malamutes are just, they've got all the interesting attributes of independence, intelligence, problem solving, wolfiness, but zero drawbacks from my perspective. They're just the perfect dog. She's a perfect dog. Look how pretty she is. We love her. Okay, so tools go back in the cage so they don't get chewed up. Yeah, for those of you that didn't see this part, I have to keep all of my tools in a cage because if they are left out, they get destroyed. And it doesn't take but a minute. If you look at one of my most recent shares, actually, one of my shorts, my my little socket wrench kit, I was just walking through the property and Noonie walked up to me and just crushed the corner of it, like just in an instant. It only took not even 1 second, and the bot is no longer decent. All right. And now my tools are proper. This should be like that. I'm very fussy about stuff, but that's just to direct water away from the engine of the snowblower. Even those are waterproof thing. Okay, what's left? We're so close to done. We're so close to done. All right. What does done look like? Done looks like done. Okay, so now, final thing here, just disconnect the hose, clean a water bucket, roll up a hose. This is gonna gush me because it's downhill. All right. These guys always put their muddy feet in our buckets. Even though we have a 12,000 gallon pond, I always am refreshing buckets. Here's a fun one for you. This is the pond pump that keeps the pond recirculating. That's the outlet. I had to run the entire thing through conduit because they kept digging it out of the ground and biting through the actual cord. It's super annoying. They're annoying. And this is a new annoying. They decided to chew on conduit right there. That's my tomorrow project is I gotta protect the conduit. So I'm gonna move. This is just excess fencing material we store underneath here. Usually we have our winter tires right there because that's one of the few things they don't destroy. But yeah, while I'm doing this, I might as well do this. Right? We have extra of everything, right? Extra X pens, extra emergency kennels, like every possible thing that you need to do the work, we do 2 or 3 times over. It's the only way to 100% guarantee that when things go really sideways, you've got the ability to deal with it. It's the only way to do it, right? Like, I mean, I always feel bad for facilities when something really goes wrong and they're just completely SOL because they don't have the resources. And this is expensive. Like, if there's another wolf place that you guys are into, please support them. This is hard work. I'm lucky. I've got, and the amazing thing is, a lot of these facilities, and I just give so much props because I know how hard it is. A lot of these facilities are women run. Like, women tend to be wolf people, maybe a little bit more than dudes. Like, my channel is more dude centric because I look like a paramilitary. But The women-run facilities just blow my mind because I know how hard this work is, and that's just an extra level of awesome as far as I'm concerned. Shout out to like my friend Brittany McDonald, who runs Wild Spirit Wolf Sanctuary, Darlene, the Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center, blanking on their names, but Rome Wolf Dog Sanctuary in Washington. Just a few of those amazing, amazing people doing the hardest jobs in the world with very little support. So, you could throw me love, you could throw them love. As far as I'm concerned, as long as you're contributing to wolf recovery in some way, or the sanctuary for wolf dogs that got unhomed because people didn't realize that they're terrible pets until after they owned one. But regardless, like if you've got the resources to help out any of us, we all need and appreciate the support, and we'll be super, super grateful for it. All right. So you're going to watch me coil a hose, and you're going to be like, why are you coiling it without like in a mess? There's a reason. It's that this is crazy. It was an article I read like, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 years ago, why curly hair doesn't tangle so much. And it relates, there's a whole line of science about knots. And so when you have a hose and you properly coil it, it's really easy for the hose to cross under and over itself, and you end up with a knot. But if all you do is just sort of haphazardly toss this thing in a pile, it doesn't knot, and you don't have to go and tangle it later. So you just sort of bunch it up. I know people won't believe me, but trust me, this is not the same thing for electrical cords, which have a pattern, a wrapping pattern. But this guy here, that's it. That's 100 feet. I'm just going to grab it, and I am... This is it. Tools, hose, water, fence. That's the work. So I'm going to wrap this up here in just a couple minutes. Again, Oliver the Wolf Guy, Tahoe Wolf Center, 501c3, showing you a day in my life of, it's like, oh, you get to pet the animals. Yeah, I do. But this is what's required to keep those animals safely cared for. And here they are. Here's Mooney. Mooney. They don't like those. Mooney, Icknick. These are a couple. They love each other. They chose each other. They look alike. They are alike. They've got the two most similar personalities. All right. Oh, here comes Sonny. Sonny's my mischief maker. If I'm not careful, I'll set this tool back down and I'll hear a noise. It'll be gone. So I got to put it right here. We're going to store this in its storage. This way it doesn't freeze. Goes there. There it is, my light. There we go. Oh, we're so close to done. Luckily for me, I love what I do. Yeah, it's labor, but I do not mind even a little bit fixing a fence. It makes me happy that I can take care of my kids. Huh, Nick? Huh, Sonny? Yeah, it was unfortunate. I took a break and was talking about the animals, and then my internet cut out on me. I had to reconnect. This is Sickenek. Her name means sun. She's my most loving, mischief-making animal. This one, if you sat on her, she'll just stay there. She's like, Dad loves me. Dad loves me. Dad loves me the most. My Sonny Wolf. And then you got Mooney, the angry weasel. Icknick, the proper gentleman. Noonie, no fucks, because he just doesn't give a fuck. Okay. All right, here. Check this out. Yeah. That's them. That's them. This is what it's like to live in the habitat, is everything gets a haircut. We call it a wolf haircut. That's them. And here's the best part. I had to put copper plating on my door because Icknick was slowly going through the door, just when he gets hungry, he comes up here and he pounds on the door. This is a solid oak door, and he was going through it like little at a time until I decided I had to fix it. All right, so the final moments of the job are putting every tool back where it goes so that I know exactly where it is if I have an emergency. I have tool kits like this Cobalt one that I've had for 15 years where I'm not missing a single piece. And that's because you put your tools away. Like that's, if you're working for me, that's how you end up not working for me, is you don't put your tools away. Or worse, you don't put my tools away. Then you're really on the shit list. All right, so that's that. That is done. Right? You don't want to end up on my shit list for not putting the tool away. It's such an easy thing to do. And that way you know exactly where it is at the end of the task. Tomorrow is running hot wire. I can be there for tomorrow. Oh, that's right. I have to go get a part. All right, people. Well, let's do a couple seconds of wolf time. What do you say? Take this off my chest. Hey, Snow Cave. Yes, I do you remember that they dug? Have you been on my channel that long, Callie? Oh, I know who you are. Of course. You changed your username. Hi. I won't say it since maybe you don't want it, but yes, hi. No snow yet. We had those storms blow through here, and then it's been cold and icky, but not wet. I don't know. It's a weird winter. So no Snow Cave. Happy New Year. Happy everybody. All right, so we're just wrapping it up. That's funny. I didn't even know you changed your username. I didn't notice. I couldn't see the icons. Well, this is on my chest. All right, so just in a quick wrap up here. Wrap up mode. We got Icknick, my big male, 150 pounds of nice. Sunny, my mischief maker, 100 pounds of trouble. Nice, good trouble, but trouble. She'll hop a fence if she gets a chance. Not to get out, to get in. She'll hop this whole thing. Oh, here comes Noonie. Noonie is my naughty puppy, 8 months old. He's going to give Icknick trouble later, maybe. He's just so big. Right now, he's still a puppy, though. God damn, he's big. I think he may be taller at the hips than Icknick now. Is he? So hard to tell, but oh my God, he's big. But everybody's pretty playful at the moment. Mooney, and the whole reason this whole project started today is because Mooney's showing signs of coming into estrus here, and so we got to separate everybody. Like, I knew yet last night something was up. Everybody was being flirty. Mooney the troublemaker. All right. Who's making squeaky noises? Oh, it's Sunny and Nepente. Sunny. Yeah, but then Mooney, right? See, Sunny's a troublemaker. And I can't let Nepente in with Mooney right now or they'll eat each other. They're not long. I can let him with an Icknick, though. All right, so I'm going to turn off my headlamp and flip this around and say bye to y'all. This is who's been talking at you for the last forever. God, it's hard to find good light. So you guys, this is Oliver the Wolf Guy. Thank you so much for tuning in. If before I wrap this up, you want to give us any little love, that would be great. Or pay it forward and give it to another Wolf Center. That would be awesome. We're all doing the same work and all have the same challenges in our life. Oh, that ain't gonna fly. You think you can stand up on Icknick? I don't think that's gonna last. Icknick is so tolerant. He's letting a puppy stand over him. So this is sort of like a dominance kind of behavior. But Icknick's just nice. They're just being playful. If it stops being playful, you'll know. Yeah, see, Mooney's serious. Everyone else is playing and Mooney's playing for keeps. I'm going to flip the camera around so you guys can actually see what's going on here because it's interesting. All right, so we got 4 of the 5. Akutuk doesn't care. She's just executive management here. I can't believe how big Noonie is. They're more concerned with me and the possibility of something in my pocket than he is with Noonie trying to stand on him until somebody gets grumpy. All right. Well, I'm going to sit here and watch this because I just find it super interesting to see how these behaviors happen at this time of year. Turn on my headlamp again. Right, so this is real. All right, so Nick's starting to get a little annoyed. So if this was a mature male standing on him, Nick would not be putting up with it. But Noonie is just 8 months old, and so it's just puppy behavior a little bit. And of course, Mooney is his real mate, and so it's just kind of some interesting stuff here. That now Icknick and Mooney are flirting a little bit. I'm kind of shocked that Icknick is putting up with Noonie standing on him like that. I think he just doesn't care. He's just so big he doesn't care. Yeah, he just doesn't care. All he cares about right now is Mooney. So super interesting behavior. So we're coming into breeding season. These are seasonal behaviors that we see. This is sort of friendly jaw sparring is what we call that, where they're just sort of saying my mouth is bigger, but there's no aggression happening here. This is all just play. Right, just a little bit of wrestling with brothers. Hi, Noonie. Better watch out. He's still got 50 pounds on you, buddy. And 5 years of experience of how to kick butt. So you better watch it. Right, Icknick. You're lucky Icknick's so nice. If he wasn't so nice, you'd have your, here goes a play bow. You see this behavior where he's arching his back. He's like, I'm going to go pounce you. He wants to go pounce him. Icknick isn't responding. He doesn't care. He's a puppy. He's going to try anyway. That's a stalk. And he's going to like try to jump up on him probably. Sort of a slow walk, a stalk. Pretty low energy right now. Everyone's really calm. I'm kind of stoked about that. I was going to take some animals out on a patrol here, but because this is New Year's Eve and people might do dumb things, I think we're just going to lay low, keep everybody in the small habitat where I have eyes directly on. And if things start happening I don't like, I can be out here with the animals. That's one of the big advantages is living inside the habitat is I am here, like I am present. I sleep with boots next to my bed like a fireman. And that way, if there's something happening, if my cameras go off, if there's anything, I'm out the door in seconds. I have huge flashlights, and you can see my cameras. Those little lights are cameras being triggered by their movement. So we know what's going on all the time. By the way, one of the things, if you're a premium subscriber to the channel, I'll be uploading footage directly off the cameras. So you'll be seeing behaviors that happen like in the middle of the night. Like we'll just be downloading those off the cameras and sharing those to our premium members only. Right on. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to wrap this up. I've been streaming for 2.5 hours today, 3 hours today. And like I said, if you feel like supporting the work, do also react to fireworks. Much less than dogs. Much less than dogs. They generally don't care. Noonie, because I think of what happened to him before we had him, what happened to his family. He has had some reactivity to the sound of fireworks, which is typically what triggers them. But nobody else seems to care. For sure, at midnight, they're going to do their stupid stuff here. I'm not a fan of fireworks. I just think they do so much harm. Environmentally, they panic wildlife. I'm just not a fan. Anyhow, last thing, if you want to support me, either with a gift to the channel or subscribing, that's great. Or if you want a gift that gives back immediately, buy my book, The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs. I promise you, your dog will love you more for reading my book. That's the whole mission of the book, is helping your dog love you more by doing a better job by your dog. It takes 40 years of my life and distills it into like 22 chapters of how to understand your dog better and make your life better for and with your dog. All right, with that, I'm going to wish you all a happy New Year's Eve. I hope you guys have a safe and happy conclusion to 2024. I hope your 2025 is also awesome. And thank you for staying tuned. I hope this was a good live stream. You enjoyed it. And this is Oliver the Wolf Guy signing off from the Sierras here. So my normal goodbye is howls. See you later.